So, have you ever known someone that no matter what they do, they screw up everything they touch? Like, it's so bad that you can't tell whether they're just the unluckiest person in the world or if they're doing it on purpose. Well, that's Microsoft lately, and it's kind of getting on my nerves. Stay tuned. Here's the thing. Windows has market share on the desktop for a good reason. It's relatively easy for people to use. This includes advanced users and novices the same. And I mean, despite what people down in the comment section are gonna tell you, Linux is not right for everyone. That's an unfortunate truth. But as a technician, I work with people from all different backgrounds, and most of them are incapable of using Linux. But at the same time, Microsoft is making it harder and harder to recommend Windows. They just do things that are so anti-consumer that it's almost convinced me that they want Windows to die. Because I'm sorry, but they can't be this arrogant to think that people will just continue to accept this kind of treatment. But that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, I got to pay some bills. So check out today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by VIP SCD Key. Building a new PC right now isn't cheap. The cost of DDR5 and even SSDs is enough to break your budget. Why let an overpriced Windows license eat into your hardware fund? Instead of paying retail price, you should check out today's sponsor, VIP SCD Key, where you can pick up a valid Windows 11 license for around 20 bucks. Just go to the link in the description below and pick up a valid Windows 11 license key. During checkout, use the code CYBERCPU for a 25% discount. Once you have your key, go to your activation settings in Windows 11 and click the link that says Change Product Key. Enter the product key you just purchased and hit Activate. Get a fully activated Windows 11 today without the sticker shock of retail prices. And check out their deals on Office as well. Now, back to the video. First off, I want to lay this out right off the bat. The majority of what you hear about Windows 11 is just straight up Ragebait, which honestly is kind of frustrating in and of itself because Windows 11 has legitimate problems, but it's easy for Microsoft to dismiss the majority of the complaints because they're completely hogwash. I think ultimately, there's two types of people out there. There's people that genuinely want to see Windows 11 fixed, and there's people that just want to see Windows die so that their own chosen operating system can take over. And honestly, I stand with the people in the first group. I want to see Windows actually fixed, but I've kind of started to lose patience with people in the second group because there's nothing you can say that will change their mind. They're essentially used car salesmen. I mean, many of these people haven't used Windows in years, yet they're all of a sudden experts on everything that's wrong with Windows, even though they don't have a clue what they're talking about half the time. Like this guy right here who has decided he's done with Windows because it's automatically taking screenshots of all of his passwords and bank logins, even though his screenshot right here is of the privacy settings related to screenshots that actually limit the apps that can use the feature in the first place. I mean, come on, man. It's a freaking privacy setting that stops random apps from being able to take screenshots. But somehow he's flipped it on its head and claimed Microsoft is stealing his bank credentials. But you know what? This kind of thing isn't uncommon either. In fact, this type of complaint happens constantly. In fact, the vast majority of complaints that I see about Windows are essentially conspiracy theories. They're either rooted in a misunderstanding of what they're complaining about, or they're just repeating some BS that they've read in the latest tech article with a clickbait headline, like all of the disastrous Windows updates articles that you've read about recently, or literally every single month, that almost always equate isolated incidents that are made to sound catastrophic. And this is also conveniently often followed by a declaration that Linux is the only answer, because ultimately the upsell to Linux was the whole reason for the complaint in the first place. Like I said, used car salesman. Like, let's take the complaint that I posted right here. This dude's mad that Windows 11 has a privacy setting that restricts screenshots. So, I tried to find the equivalent in Linux. And you know what? It actually does support it. But unfortunately, my install was missing dependencies related to privacy settings. So I couldn't actually get a screenshot. And at the time, I decided that it wasn't worth my time to fix it. But that kind of makes my point, because that's the kind of crap that you have to deal with all the time with Linux. It totally supports it if you want to jump through hoops to make it work. And I mean, that's fine for enthusiasts who want to pull up their sleeves and work on their operating system. But it's not okay for the vast majority of people that are using desktop computers. For that, we need an alternative like Windows. But Microsoft insists on doing stupid anti-consumer things that don't benefit anyone. Not even them, ironically. Because here's the thing, this entire video was inspired by the new point-in-time restore feature in Windows 11. It looked like it could kind of be a cool feature, so I was checking it out to maybe make a video on it. And it turns out that's exactly what I'm doing. But the video isn't going to be about what I thought it was going to be about, because as soon as I started looking at the feature itself, I realized that they completely crippled it for home users. And they also did it in a way that was just stupid. In fact, let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's jump on the system real quick. Okay, so here we are in a fresh install of Windows 11. And let me just check, let me show you this. Okay, if you click on Start and you click on Settings, to find the point-in-time restore feature, it's going to be under System. You're going to scroll down under Recovery, and you're going to scroll down right here where it says point-in-time restore. Now click on View or Edit, you hit Yes to the user account control, and you're going to get this screen right here. Now this screen is it's disabled by default, so this isn't a feature that's automatically enabled, which is honestly good. I'll get into that a little bit more later. But if you want to turn it on, all you got to do is flip this little switch right here and it turns it on. But if you notice, these two boxes right here, the restore point frequency and the restore point retention, are grayed out. You have no control over it. I mean, even if you hit save, close the box, reboot the computer, come back to it, it doesn't matter. These right here, these two settings are restricted to only Enterprise Edition. You can't use them, you can't even use them in the Education Edition. It has to be Enterprise Edition, a version of Windows that they won't even sell you. They've essentially crippled your ability to change whatever frequency you want to use or whatever retention you want in having these restore points. Which, honestly, some people probably shouldn't be changing anyway. But in most cases, we should at least have the opportunity to change these settings if we want to. But you know what? I went ahead and I actually found a way to be able to change these, at least the frequency. The retention, that's another story. But if we go ahead and close this right here, I'm going to go ahead and minimize settings. I'm going to open up the registry. I'm just going to type regedit here. Hit OK, hit yes to the user account control, and then we're going to want to go into machine, and then we want to go into software. Then from software, we want to go into Microsoft, and then we want to scroll all the way down to Windows, and this is all alphabetical too. So once you find Windows, open that up there. Then we want current version, and then from there we want setup, which is right there, and we want recovery. And then from here, we want to go to PITR, which is point-in-time recovery. So we open that up, and then we click on settings, and you can see this is our enablement, or our enable setting, and this is our max global size that we use. Now, in order to change these in particular settings, we're going to have to create a couple of registry values here. The first one is going to be a DWORD 32-bit value, and it's going to be named snapshot interval _UX. And then we can go ahead and hit OK. And then the next one is also going to be a DWORD 32-bit value, and it's going to be called snapshot retention UX. Now for these right here, their settings themselves, even though they're displayed in hours, they have to be set in minutes. So the default is between 4 hours and 24 hours for the interval, and the snapshot retention is between 24 hours and 72 hours. And I think these are the default settings. And believe it or not, I had to install Enterprise Edition in order to find that out. So if you set these to something outside of the normal settings, then this may not work. But in a minute, I'll explain why that doesn't really matter anyway. So if you click on Start, I'm going to go ahead and open up my calculator real quick. And I'm going to set up the snapshot interval for 4 hours. And for that, you just go 4 times 60, gives you 240. So you go ahead and open up snapshot interval, change it to decimal, can't be on hexadecimal, and then change this to 240. And go ahead and hit OK. And then from there, for snapshot retention, I want to change it from the stock 72 hours to the 24 hours. So for that, we're going to go 24 times 60, same as before, and that gives us 1440. So we're going to open this up, change it to decimal, and then we're going to change this to 1440, and then go ahead and hit OK. Now at this point, we can go ahead and close the reg edit, and we're going to go ahead and click on settings again, click on point in time restore, hit view and edit, hit yes, and as you can see, we have successfully changed the frequency to 4 hours. But the retention has stayed 72 hours for some reason. So it seems like it's not changing the retention. I don't know if it's because I named the registry key wrong or what. I could literally only find one website that had information on how to change these right here, and it was a Russian website that I had to translate to English in order to find these settings right here. So it wasn't like they're openly documented, at least not yet. They're actually really hard to find information on this. The problem though is even if you set this, it doesn't matter because it still doesn't work. It doesn't actually take a snapshot every 4 hours. In fact, I left it on for a day and it didn't take a snapshot at all. So it doesn't even seem to honor the 24 hours. So I don't know what the deal is, but it looks like this is another instance where it doesn't matter what you do in the registry or outside of the UI itself. If it's not the correct edition, it's not going to pay any attention to your custom settings at all. You see, and this is the kind of crap that I'm talking about. They didn't even have to include these settings in the UI to begin with. I mean, if they're going to gray them out anyway, why waste the space in the UI to display them in the first place? I mean, they could have completely left that section out of the UI and I wouldn't even known it existed. But since they left it there, I decided to dig a little bit deeper. And as you can see, I found the registry keys that were responsible for these settings to begin with. So I changed them and it didn't work anyway. And the reason why is not only does Microsoft gray out the settings in the UI itself, but they also stop the back-end processes from following custom settings regardless of whether or not you change them in the registry or not, unless you have the correct edition that includes the ability to change those settings. So they've essentially paywalled these settings. But what's worse is they don't even allow you to pay for them in the first place because the only edition that comes with the ability to change these settings is the Enterprise Edition. And they won't even sell you that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that'd be willing to buy it if they did. And they do this all the time. They gate Windows features into different versions of Windows, but they give you access to the ability to change those settings either through the UI itself or the registry. But then the operating system completely ignores your custom settings, unless of course you're using the proper edition. But ultimately, I recommend you just leave this feature off completely because it turns out point-in-time restore uses a massive amount of storage space. And at a time that storage is so expensive, seems a little out of touch. So since this feature is kind of a stupid feature to begin with, it wasn't that bad. But it was a good example of the kind of crap that Microsoft does that pisses people off. There is no reason to gate these features other than to piss people off. But either way, I highly recommend turning System Restore back on instead of this point-in-time recovery. But that's another problem that Microsoft has randomly decided to turn System Restore off for many people. Of course, you don't know it's turned off until you need it, and it's just not there. But that's another problem with Windows that is a valid complaint. Microsoft used to create features within Windows that would help fix the operating system itself. Because here's the thing, it used to be really common back in Windows XP, Windows 7, even Windows 98 to a certain degree, to reinstall Windows every couple of years, sometimes every year, depending on how bad you were with the operating system. But that's not really the case anymore with Windows 10 and 11. It's extremely possible to fix an install of Windows today, and they run great for years without having to do the whole reinstall process. But Microsoft is going out of their way to make it harder and harder to fix Windows. And there's only one explanation why, and that's their cloud services. Because what's the one benefit to being able to repair a Windows install? Obviously, it's typically you're able to save your apps and your data. But now that Microsoft is disabling repair features, but adding more and more features to make it easier to reload Windows, users are starting to lose their data. And it's really easy to sell cloud backup if a customer has just lost all their data. But I don't know, maybe that's just a conspiracy theory. But you tell me another reason why Microsoft would prioritize reloading Windows to fixing it, because I can't think of one. But here's the thing, I'm not a fanboy of any operating system. I use both Windows and Linux on a daily basis. I love them both for completely different reasons. But when I see Microsoft do something right, I praise them for it. And inevitably, the comment section will include people asking me how much Microsoft paid me. Which makes it kind of ironic when Microsoft does something stupid and I point that out. Because I guess maybe those weeks their check bounced. But in all seriousness though, I think if you're an enthusiast who has the capability of using Linux, then maybe you should try it. But I understand why you don't. Because ultimately, we don't need an alternative to Windows. We just need Windows to stop being stupid. Stop it with all the AI slop. Stop ignoring group policy settings when we set them in the registry on a home edition system. Stop going out of your way to make Windows 11 crappier because it helps promote your cloud services. I mean, just respect people's property by allowing them to have control over their operating system. Because ultimately, that's the one argument that Linux has. It's as frustrating as it can be at times, it gives people control of their operating system. And for a lot of people, they're willing to trade a worse user experience for the ability to control their own property. And I completely get that. In fact, ultimately, that's one of the reasons I use it myself. I've used Linux since the early 2000s, 2002-ish, I believe. And in the last 4 or 5 years, Linux has improved more than the entire rest of the time I've used it. So, at some point, it's going to become a threat to Windows. But if you decide to switch, just don't be one of those arrogant Linux users that goes around social media trolling everyone that doesn't use Linux. That gets kind of tiring. But luckily, a lot of these problems that Windows currently has are still fixable by us even if Microsoft doesn't want to do it. Like for instance, many of the features used to fix Windows installs that Microsoft disables, I've shown you how to re-enable in the past. If you want to check that out, then I'll go ahead and put that video right here. In this video, I show you how to re-enable registry backups as well as system restore, which still works better than point-in-time recovery. But as always, you guys have a great day.